If you want me to explain anything in more detail, please let me know. Do you understand?
Yes.
We've now reached the stage of the trial where you may present your defense. You have the right to claim the protections given to you by the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. This amendment states, in part, no person shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself. This means that you cannot be required to testify in this case. You have the right to testify on your own behalf. However, no one can make you testify. This is a personal right, and no one can waive this right except you. If you decide to testify, you will be subject to the same rules that govern other witnesses, and you may be examined and cross-examined on any relevant issue in the case. In addition, if you have any convictions involving dishonesty or false statements or for crimes punishable by imprisonment for more than 1 year, and this court determines the probative value of admitting the evidence outweighs its prejudicial effect to you, the solicitor will be able to introduce your record to attack your credibility. If you decide to testify, this decision on your part must be freely, voluntarily, and intelligently made, with knowledge of the protections given to you by the Fifth Amendment and the consequences of your decision to testify. If you decide not to testify, I will instruct the jurors that they cannot give the fact that you did not testify any consideration whatsoever, and that there is to be absolutely no prejudice to you because you did not testify. It is left entirely up to you whether or not you testify. You may talk with your attorney, your family members or friends, or anyone else, but the final decision will be left entirely up to you. Do you understand what I've explained to you?
Yes, sir.
Do you have any questions about what I've explained to you?
No, sir.
Have you discussed with your lawyer whether or not you should testify?
I'm going to have to talk it over with my counsel.
I understand. I'm not going to ask you right now whether or not you're going to testify. We're just getting this part out of the way. Do you wish to have any more time to discuss this with your lawyer? And the answer is yes. I think you just gave me,
yes.
Which is fine. All right. Do you have any questions about the constitutional rights?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Counsel, is everybody happy with that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right then. Let's get the jury back.
Hey.
These just magically appeared. Did you bring these in?
I brought, well,
Oh.
they brought them for us, yeah. They brought them for us. And
Oh, yeah. We can release. Right. Thank you all. Did you all follow the instructions, not discussing it with anybody, etc.? Yes, great. Thank you so much. Ms. Bright Matthews, I'm happy to hear from you.
The defense calls Dr. Gunther Rinkin.
You're gonna have to put your hand, you can put your stuff there. Raise your right hand, left hand on the Bible. Do you affirm the testimony about to give the court shall be the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can seat in the witness stand.
Thank you.
State your name again for the record. Spell your last name.
My name is Gunther Renken. Last name is Renken, R-E-N-C-K-E-N.
Dr. Rinkin, can you give us your brief professional training, education, and certifications?
Yes, ma'am. I went to the Medical College of Georgia in Augusta, graduated in 2000. I did a family medicine residency there for 3 years, and then was board certified in family medicine. And I've been recertified in board medicine twice and practiced medicine here in Walterboro since then.
And what is your certification in? Family medicine?
Family medicine, yes.
And where do you practice medicine?
At Walterboro Family Practice. Here
And
in
how long have
Walterboro.
you been practicing there?
21 years.
And have you ever been qualified to give your opinion as an expert specializing in family medicine?
I'm not a professional expert witness, but I have given testimony here in this court several times as a family medicine practitioner. Yes, ma'am.
You've been subpoenaed here today because you provided medical care and treatment to Terry Lee Lewis. Have you had an opportunity to pull her file from Walterboro Family Practice and review it?
Yes, ma'am.
And was she your patient?
She was, yes.
How long has Terry Lewis been treating with you at Walterboro Family Practice?
My first appointment with her was in 2010.
And since then, have you continuously been her family medicine doctor?
Yes, I have. She had seen one or two of our other providers when I was out, but yes, for the most part, that's me.
When was Terry Lewis's last appointment in your office?
May I
Yes,
look?
please.
November the 9th, 2018.
And since then, have you seen Terry at all since then?
No, I have not.
What did you list as her medical history at that last appointment?
She had diabetes, hypothyroidism, bipolar disorder, depression and anxiety. Oh, I apologize. Headaches and constipation.
What was hyperthyroidism? What is that?
Low thyroid.
What does that mean? What does that do to the body?
It makes the body more sluggish. Folks can have weight gain, dry skin at times, and they can be mentally a little bit slower.
Did she have
if not treated.
And you were treating it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did she have, you said she had depression. Was she ever diagnosed with any type of depression?
She had bipolar depression.
Had she had it during the entire time you treated her?
Yes, ma'am. And she saw a psychiatrist for that.
And as to her diabetes, was she insulin dependent?
Yes, she had been on insulin, yes.
Okay. And how long has Ms. Terry suffered with these medical problems?
She came to me with those medical problems. I'd have to go back to her old records, but when I first saw her in 2010, she had had those medical problems.
In 2014, did Terry Lewis have lithium poisoning or lithium toxicity?
Lithium toxicity. I know it's semantics. Poisoning would be imply that someone had tried to kill her with lithium.
It's like it's intentional.
But she had high levels of lithium in her system. Yes, ma'am.
And what was that causing? How was her body responding as a result of that?
From the records that I saw when she was admitted, she was confused and had balance problems and difficulty maintaining her balance and walking.
Okay. She had problems maintaining her balance?
Yes, ma'am.
And what were her complaints after getting out of the hospital for the lithium toxicity?
May I review the
Yes.
records here? She had some low back and neck pain since falling after she had had the problem.
And she'd been in the hospital prior to that for how long?
2 weeks.
Okay. And the lithium, was she taking a form of lithium for her medical condition?
Yes, ma'am. Lithium is a mood stabilizer, and she was taking that for her bipolar.
I got it. Did you see Ms. Lewis on February 7th, 2012?
Yes, ma'am.
And what were her complaints at that time?
She was in with a tremor and was having a lot of shaking and having difficulty keeping her balance. She had had trouble eating and drinking because of the shaking and was tired, and she had had difficulty driving.
And this goes all the way back to 2012?
Yes, ma'am.
As a result of, did she describe, or did you describe in her records how she trembled and what part of her body had tremors?
I object to leading.
I can withdraw. How did she describe her medical condition?
She described it as she had had difficulty with shaking a lot and difficulty keeping her balance.
Did she say what part of the body was shaking?
Objection leading.
No, ma'am.
Your Honor,
Oh, I'm sorry.
this is an exception for medical statement for medical purposes.
It's in the report.
Right.
You may proceed, sir.
Go ahead, Nick.
When I examined, she did not say to me which body part. When I examined her, I did make note that her hands were shaking.
Okay. Did you follow up and send her for a neurological exam to see if she had Parkinson's?
Yes, ma'am, I did. I sent her to the Movement Disorder Clinic at MUSC.
Okay. And did Miss Lewis also have breast cancer?
Yes, she did.
And she had that in 2012?
Yes, ma'am.
And did she, as a result of that, what kind of surgery did she end up having?
She had a double mastectomy. She had both breasts removed.
Did she have any follow-up regarding any chemotherapy or radiation?
She had both. She had radiation therapy, a full course of treatment for that, and then had chemotherapy and was maintained on chemotherapy after that.
There's been some talk about Ohio River fungus. What is that?
That is a fungal disease that affects the lungs.
And is it curable?
It is treatable, yes, ma'am.
Is it?
For most folks, they don't really even know they have it.
Okay.
In patients who do get sick, there are medications that can help treat it, and yes, very few people have long-term effects with it.
And did she have Ohio River Valley fungus? Did she?
I'm not aware of that.
Okay. On January 3rd of 2014, you were forwarded a report from St. Francis regarding treatment received by Ms. Lewis.
Yes,
Do
ma'am.
you see that?
Yes, I have that, yes, ma'am.
And what was Ms. Lewis being seen for at Bon Secours St. Francis?
Her discharge summary states that she was seen with dementia, diabetes, hypertension, a history of breast cancer, high cholesterol, and bipolar disease.
And at that time, they diagnosed her with dementia in 2014? Or maybe that's what she was released for?
Yes, ma'am, that was the discharge diagnosis.
Did you receive medical records from Colleton Medical Center after Ms. Lewis was an inpatient on the 4th floor of the hospital on January 8, 2014? If so, please refer to those records.
I have received those subsequently, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What does those records reveal as it relates to any history, social history regarding abuse of this patient?
Her abuse history, as listed by the admitting physician, stated that she had denied being a victim of physical, emotional, sexual abuse at any point in her life.
Did Ms. Lewis's tremors ever resolve or stop?
Not that I was aware of, not
Please
when I
answer.
was treating her.
Excuse me?
Not when I was treating her, no, ma'am.
Please answer any questions Ms. Swanson has, please.
Good afternoon, Dr. Rankin.
Good afternoon.
I believe we've actually been on a case before.
Yes, ma'am.
And I came out to your nice farm.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, so you treated Terry Lewis when she was alive.
Yes, ma'am.
But not after, obviously, the life-threatening burns that she received, right?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
I've not seen her again.
Okay. And she was being treated for her depression, correct?
That is correct.
All right. And the last time that she came to see you, it was just her litany of normal conditions that she had had for a long time, and that was November 9th of 2018, right?
Yes, ma'am. That is correct.
Okay. So any of these, you never diagnosed her with dementia, correct?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have. Thank you, Dr. Rankin.
Thank you, ma'am.
I don't have any redirect.
All right. Any objection to this witness being excused?
No, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Rankin. Your Honor, the defense rests.
Oh, okay. All right. We had a brief discussion earlier about it's only 3, so members of the jury, I think what we're going to do is let you go, because most of what we will do for the rest of the day we would not do in your presence anyway, and have you come back tomorrow at, are we still good with 10, or does that work? Does that work for you as well?
It's up to the court. We should finish ours today, and we can start earlier if you want to, or 10 o'clock is fine.
Let's make it 9:30, just in case, okay? Does 9:30 work for y'all in the morning? All right then. Thank you all so much for your attention today. Standard instructions, please, this evening, don't discuss the case with each other, with anyone else. Please don't do any investigation of your own. Please avoid any computer, internet, media accounts, anything like that. And I will see you all at 9:30 tomorrow morning. Thank you so much.